See you in Namaste. Tally going on tour? No, Tally's staying home. Not because I don't want it, because my guitars are in Miami and I'm not doing anything. Hey Randy, thank you. you feel better today? How often do we rehearse? Never. The first time we will play together will be at the show. We would never. And if anybody messes up anything, he's gonna get the looks. Why would you rehearse? What's the point of rehearsing? We play together with the same lineup, so we know what we sound like. And if somebody doesn't know their shit, then they should practice. All these tracks are in your comfort zone? Yeah. What do you think we're trying to do here? And there's no space if your hands never leave the guitar. Listen, something I do every day is just move. It's kind of like doing Tai Chi, but I do it on a live feed. it's not practice, it's not rehearsing, it's just making sure that the systems are flowing, you know? It's flow exercises is what it's called. You don't actually improvise like that, you don't play like that. But it's important to do if you want to maintain a technical level. And, you know, this is a good time to do it. Uh, the volume is low of what? The guitar, the track? See you next Saturday in Hollywood, Florida. Yeah, you see? That's the first show of tour. That's going to be fun. Um, sad you're just upset that I talk trash about your Indian music. I knew it. Forgive me, I didn't mean it. I just talk trash. It's my nature. It's just being hilarious. There's a way of playing where you take your hand away, you still move your fingers, but your hand is off the fretboard, so mentally you're still flowing. Yeah. Listen, man. I'm not saying this is the best thing to watch. I mean, the fact that there are 15 people here will probably is probably a good point, you know, for on your side of the argument. But it is what it is. You know, that is how I prepare, though. I have to say, like, you know, for tour, just got to make sure that everything is kind of like that. I'm able to just go, like, you know, that like when I turn it to 10, it's all the way open, and yeah, I don't know. And also when I'm home, I'm like dead sober, but like when I'm touring, I'm like eating gummies all the time. So when I'm like stoned, I don't want to hear all those notes. That's really the truth. I'm just like, oh, and it's like, ooh, that's nice to hold that note. That note feels good. Can you play Foo Fighters? Uh, no, I don't know how to do that. Sorry. Let's see. What else can I do? I'm a stoner on tour. Is it a fish tune? If it is, I don't know. Thanks, Primus. If you ever reach the West Coast, it's happened. We used to go like once every year, and then we started procreating. So sad. My thing when I'm stoned is just like you, everything I play seems incredible to me. But then when I listen back later, it still seems incredible to me. So I highly recommend it. Do you like those challenges of improvising using just one or two strings? Yeah, that's great. I mean, I don't know. Like if I'm just being honest, like not just smart ass. Like the circuitry I use in my brain to actually play a solo, I, I don't know how to activate that on a backing track. You know what I mean? It's like a solo comes in a song after a melody, after an intro. It's kind of like this is just like raw dogging, like, you know, no foreplay, go right in there, out of context. It's like this whole thing, it's like it doesn't exist. It's just a glorified metronome. And it's like Instagram made a style out of this strange thing, which is like very ironic that it's like watching incels, actual incels, raw dogging. But in any case, it's just like so bizarre, like this whole thing. The solo kind of emerges from a song, and you get one shot, and you get comfortable with that, and you just play it the way you play it. Like it's easier for me to play the way I play when I'm playing like solo guitar, like because then it's just like something careful. Like you have to carefully handle this thing that you've had from the beginning. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm way less likely to just shred through it brainlessly. But like when I'm here, I'm just like, I don't know. It's like nothing matters, you know. It's just like you could just stop playing. It's still like grooving, doesn't listen to you. It can't break really. It's like you can break. So it's not even just the like. There's no build, but it's not just that. It's not like like you, everything is like tied to you in a solo. It's beyond the fact that they're dynamically allowing you to open it up. That's like an element, but there's something else. It's just the care that's involved. Like you have to just like you take a bad turn and you just crash the whole thing. So you just don't do it. So yeah, I mean, like I don't know. I'm like Which songs? That was I'm Confessing That I Love You. A very out of tune version. That's the culprit. These are 10s. I like 11s too. Let's see. I had a teacher that used to tell me, let people hear you breathe. Yeah, you gotta do that. Whoa, I missed a lot of shit. You play Eruption. But I guess it wasn't important. I suppose there's no listening. Yeah. But yeah, these are 10s. They all have their thing. I really like 13 flats or 12. I think I'm playing 12 to 56. The George Benson Lights, the flat ones for large time. Best strings ever, really. Amazing. And for electric, just the Adagio 10s. Always been a fan. We were with Ernie Ball, like the whole band. I switched to the Adagio. Well, I was with Ernie Ball, and then like we had like a band endorsement because Danny really the Adagio owns whatever the Reed company is that he uses, and they were like, he was just like, listen, we gotta switch because he really needed it, and they were either doing like the whole band, with like or Remo or whoever, I don't even know, drums and bass and stuff. But I switched to the Adagio, and I ended up liking them much better. Like that was like, a thing where I switched just because we got the deal, and I was never really using them. Like I really liked Ernie Balls forever, and I made the switch. And I was just like, oh my God, this is way better for me. So that was a really lucky thing. Come back to Canada. We will one day. We will one day. Still remember that night. Thanks for booking us. That was fun. That's what they teach there. That's a testament for how brainlessly I'm playing, I guess. Like one of those like fish where they show them after like they decapitate the fish, you can still bite through like a Pepsi can. It's like, oh, when you're dead. That's how I feel about shredding. Maybe it doesn't take a lot of CPU, I suppose. Fuck. What have I done with my life? How's my notation in tab reading? Tab reading is like non-existent. I haven't done that since I was a child. Notation, you know, oh, like I would say really bad, but then I saw how bad it gets, so not as bad as that. But when it's kind of like it's a muscle. It's one of those things like you do it all the time, you get better at it. So for me, I'm not in a situation. Nobody around me writes any music for me to read. Like if we're playing a new song in our band, then the way it's taught is like, yo, how's the melody go? And then they go, I was like, ba-da-la-dee-doo, ba-dee-da-dee-dee-doo, ba, right? We're like, that's like an example of like a melody that like I learned recently. Danny wrote, and it was just like so it's like for me like I hear it enough to get the rhythm, then I find the notes, and I'm like, ooh, like maybe let's change this one, that one to make it fit better with guitar. If it works on saxophone, cool. And then we just lock in from there. So um, I guess in the kind of music that we write, I just don't need to read. And then the changes are usually we just say them. Like, it's like, oh, let's do this here. Now, like, let's add that chord here. Let's take that one away. So that's typically how we communicate music. How long am I going to be a basic bitch for? Some people forever. Some it's completely up to you. It's kind of like like the business of getting better at music is not linear progression. It's not like digging a tunnel where you're going deeper and deeper. It's seeing wider and wider. This gets removed. So if you're progressing in that way, then you will progress fast. If not, then you'll stay where you are forever. In your experience with students, to what degree do you think natural ability and good memorization ability separates the pro level players? I think good memorization is just kind of like a general sign of intelligence. Um, it's a type of intelligence, but what tends to happen to people uh, has nothing to do with memorizing. It's this fear of being embarrassed that's also activated when they're alone. So it's like I think people have like these traumatic experiences with music, like times where they didn't get it. And then the moment they start learning something, there's this invisible like hour clock that gets flipped. And every second that goes by that they don't get it is more and more embarrassing until it gets so overwhelming that they have to put it down. And memorizing requires you to hear it without trying to learn it like 100 times, before you even start trying to do anything. I think people like that are anxious skip just their brains won't allow them to actually just sit down and listen to the tune and think about like the first 100 times you're learning a tune, not like learning, you're just listening to it. So you're just creating the cerebral map of it that's going to serve you forever. That is completely and you just have to just be, it's not completely passive, it's not spacing out and not paying attention, but it's just listening. Like, let the music do what it's supposed to do to you, and let your mind travel through the entire song, not the parts of the song, like a listener. Listen once and just listen to the bass. Just follow it with your mind. And then listen once and listen to the piano. And then listen once and listen to the guitar. Listen to the vocal. Listen to how two parts play with each other. Just listen to the whole thing a lot of times. Make like the same way that you know, a cartographer makes a map, just like an aerial view of the whole thing, and then go deep and try to figure out what's going on. People are just like, no, what's the bass line? Here are the roots. So these must be the chords. Like, listen to it without knowing what's going on. Um, so yeah, Gypsy Jazz, Danny, unlocked. Yes, Gypsy Jazz unlocked. So I would say I think that the blocks to memorization are have more to do with like mental illness than your ability to memorize things. Then it's like, it's biting off pieces of music that are lengths that you can handle. It's hearing phrases correctly to where you're not chopping things up in the middle of a musical sentence. It's understanding harmonic phrases, thinking in four measure lines. There's all sorts of things you can do to make thinking in Roman numerals to where you just memorize things based on function, not based on just what they are. There are a lot of things you can do like that that really make the whole process, I guess, as fast as it can be. But at the end of the day, like if you're just talking about memorizing a melody, um, if you're doing anything other than, like, I don't know, how'd you memorize Happy Birthday? Think about or Bohemian Rhapsody, or just a thing you've heard, like you just heard shit a billion times and until it's stuck. So instead of trying to kind of I think the worst thing you can do is read, right? Just learn things with your eyes. And you can see, people that read, just unless your gig is reading parts and you're just gonna play it once in an ensemble, and you just need literally the quickest thing that you could possibly do to get through the gig. But if you're trying to actually play the song well, or if you care for learning the song, right, not just surviving. I think, and that's another thing that you see so many people. I mean when you talk about students, people have a really really hard time separating the guy that's getting prepared for their gigs and their musical obligations from the eternal student of music. And the moment you have one gig that requires you to learn 20 songs, it's like you just turn the faucet completely off, and that motherfucker was just trying to figure out some minor seven chords. Just sever the flow of information and skill building and process. And it's just a shame. It's not healthy. It's just you have to keep that guy alive, feed him little bits of breadcrumbs every day, or you're just not going to get better. You're just going to get better. You're just going to get more prepared for a gig that pays whatever, 150, $200. And while it's important, you can stand to be, let's say, 5% less prepared, with 5 less reps through the repertoire that won't do anything to how you're actually going to play the song, and figure out melodic minor over 2 months. It's just you could do it with the time you have. But it's just this lack of ability to sit down for 30 minutes and hold one topic in mind that you've been working on and just take the next step. So I think that's what I really see happening with a lot of people. It's just this 100% allocation of time. Have you heard of Scott Michaud? Of course. Slappy Tappy, yeah, dude. Just like the slap master from Shrapnel. I'm in New York. You guys coming over here on tour? Not this tour. We were just in the Iridium. What happened? Let's see. What happened to that wallpaper? Did it peel? It looks all right. Oh, over there? Yeah, there's like one piece that's hanging. Um, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Talk is cheap. You got to practice. I think that's the main thing is to just sit there and consciously try to get. You want to just change. You want to do the kinds of things that will lead you to slowly doing things that are outside of your skill set. Favorite Marvin song to play? Oh, I love all the new shit. Like we wrote this new ballad. It goes. Something like that. Anyways, I dig that one. That's a cool one. Does your Patreon offer guided lessons? Oh yeah. That one is a bit Julian Lage Belfazage. Yeah, it has like that kind of harmony, and I'm playing Italian, doing some of the neck bending. Yeah, so that's a cool one. We have one that's really cool called Norwegian. So it goes like, how's it go? It's cool. It's like harmonized with like saxophone. I was going to compare it to something that I realized that's all I do. Yeah. Bill Frisell does a lot with the volume pedal. He sure does. Escape from Hippie Mountain. Oh yeah, I like that one. I don't even remember how it goes. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, dude, that's ancient. I wrote that one like 12 years ago. It's crazy how you forget your own tunes. There's some bangers that like we keep in the set. I've been playing Redline for more than half my life. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. Like more? No, half my life. For half my life. I wrote that when I was like so young. uh, what's the best way to learn the fret? Is the best way to learn the fretboard to just sit and name each note until? No. No. When you play, you don't think G A flat. You know, I mean, it's good to know. You need to know the notes, but if you don't know the notes, you don't know what chords you're playing. All of our language for chords is the note name and then the recipe intervallically for what happens. Like a G minor 7 is the root of G, which is G. It's flats at flat 3, 5, and flat 7. So our whole language is built on you knowing one note and then understanding the chord symbol, which is a recipe of intervals attached to that note. So notes in jazz thinking, like obviously, like it's good to know their names, but it's crucial to know their names to know how to attach chords to that. The violin stuff, yeah. Works better in context. My shit is too gainy at the moment to make it real gradual. But yeah, like. The taper on this one's not linear enough. It sounds better like when you're not so dimed on the gain. It just kind of like appears with the setup. Let's see. Where did your other bass player go? I think his name was John. He was sick as fuck. He just went to raise a family. But our new bassist, Chano, is like the sickest fucking guy you've ever seen in your life. Literally. Like, I've never seen a bass player like with more chops. It's nuts. I'm relatively new here. Any opinions on modern method for guitar? I'm currently going through that to try and learn the fretboard and standard notation. I don't know what that is, but let's see who wrote it. Modern method for guitar. Berkeley. No. Who's the? Oh, William Levitt. Yeah, I went through some of these books. I don't know. They're good for reading. Some harmony. Like, it's not bad. It's not as bad as like like doing some of the newer books, which would be a really bad idea. But it's not good, probably. I don't know. I'll check him out. Chano. Oh yeah, Chano is the man. He actually just texted me right now as we were talking. Fort Myers, Florida, anytime soon. We have some Florida dates. I'm not sure where we're playing. I mean, we're playing Hollywood, Florida, I think, next week, Saturday. Hey, Eric, what's going on, dude? Weather report. Not right now. But yeah, Chano Cruz. Hey Danny, do you like Rory Gallagher? Of course I like Rory Gallagher. What about Mick Goodrick's methods? Um, well, I like Mick. I like that Advancing Guitarist book. It wasn't bad. That chord almanac thing is useless. I studied with him for like a semester. It was not a good experience for me. Um, but by the time I was there, he was old and really burnt out on teaching. So I don't think I got like the experience that a lot of people like that went there in the 80s and 90s got when he was like top of his game as a teacher. I think when you just it's kind of like it's like having like a really really hot prostitute that like just understands like the man desire and body, and then just have like this endless train of like Indonesian and Thai students just run a train on her for like 20 years, and then you get there at the end, it's like she's not that passionate. It's just like, yeah, well, she's been through a lot. So that's how I feel. That's what happened. um yeah, so that's what happened to old Mick. God rest his soul. um Um, no, Osnoy and Krantz weren't there when I was there. They're there now. Oh, the best way to learn the notes on the guitar? One octave shapes. So start with C, and then find all the ways you can see one octave as a chord from C. That's called caged. It's the foundation that caged is laid on. So what they call a C shape, an A shape, a G shape, an E shape, and a D shape. What you really have underneath that is 7 ways of playing an octave. 4 of them are the West octaves, these ones, C to C, C to C, C to C, C to C. 3 of them are these wider ones that have 2 strings apart, C to C. You can play them 1, 2, 3 places, and when you put them in order, you have all your C's in one octave, like C shape, A shape, bottom of a G, top of a G, bottom of an E, top of an E, and a D. Those cowboy chords are laid here, right? But you see the one octave shapes they mark, and then you memorize that, and you have all your C's in one octave, like C, 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 C. You can do that with any note, and the pattern always repeats, like the E shape F, D shape F, C shape F, A shape, G shape, E. So you can always see them as connected. G flat, whatever, B, whatever note you want, B flat on an A shape, G shape, E shape, D shape. So whenever you have a note, you just see automatically if you can locate it with a certain finger on a certain string, like whatever note that is A. So if I'm here, I know that like I have my D shape here, my E shape there, and I know I'm out of tune. So yeah. What do I think about them? I like Wayne Krantz. I like 2 Drinks Minimum, and I like Greenwich Mean. I like some of those solo pieces for Strat on Signals. we shared the bill with Osno a whole bunch of times. I know Oz well. We're both from Israel, so we talk. Um, what parts of your playing are you the most proud of? Um, what parts of my playing am I the most proud of? Um, I guess I wouldn't say it's my playing. I'm proud of always having been in a band and never being like never wanting to do anything else and never doing anything else, you know. Like it's just being focused over a long period of time and just making a lot of stuff that I like, you know. It's like I listen to our album still and I'm just like, yeah, I fucking like it. It's good. Uh, it's, it's what I wanted to do. At the time, you know, it's like sometimes you look back and it's just like, oh, I remember wanting to do that. And sometimes, you know, it's not like I've listened to it like, oh my God, it's like, you know, Charlie Parker. But it's, you know, I'm proud of, I don't know, like, I remember the energy of wanting to do the things I did. And I'm really glad I got to do them, you know, and I'm still doing them. It's different format, you know, now it's more educational and stuff and touring less, but it's weird. Like, it's weird how life is. Like, I don't know. It's like I have a 4 year old, like 4.5. It's, it's mind blowing. Like, to me, like the chain of events that led to me not being a deadbeat dad that just like leaves her to be on tour all the time was incredible, and I'm very glad like I chose uh, what I chose. Like it felt like I didn't have a choice, but like it's beyond great that it worked out that way. You know, it's just like having a great relationship with your kid, like not just like good, like great, just like right there with them, raising them, you know, it's like being a good dad. It's the shit. Like I realized that like a lot of my heroes were at the same intersection that I was and chose to go like without giving it a second thought. And I was in a place like when my daughter was born, like Danny, the saxophone player's divorce just happened, like right then, and like our whole touring thing, like I kept going without him as a trio, which was a terrible idea for like 6 months. And when my daughter was like, you know, 3 months old, like you know, I would be gone like a month at a time, and and then like a certain point, I was just like, okay, this isn't like it's not working on a lot of levels. Like a lot of it was just some of it was musical, but like you know, just it was a mess. And that's when we started like doing content, doing the YouTube, and you know, it's been like honestly like mega successful. Like you know, to a point where like touring was never as lucrative as what we're doing now. Um, like it's nuts. And Patreon has thousands of members, you know, um, and yeah, and it's so I think you know when like the question was like what you're most proud of, you know. I guess for me it's just about realizing that not letting my notions of what life and music needs to be dictate the path, and just you know make the choices that actually like you know fit the situation to where you can just live a good life, you know, and just I don't know, be a good person to your family and shit. Um, so yeah. Um, walk us through Stella. That's awesome. Whoa, I missed a lot of stuff. Uh, let's see. I'm learning the song Both Sides Now by Pat Martino, and I also uh, have to learn two pieces from Joe Pass for a local jazz festival here in Mexico. Any advice on how to learn solo arrangements? I wouldn't learn solo arrangements. I just learn tunes and make up my own solo arrangements. To me, it would be way more stressful to like try to figure out what they're doing note per note and just learn the melody and make up something. You know, that's how I would approach it. I don't. I'm not good at like taking long, intricate pieces and learning them note per note. It's not never been like something I've done too much of. What part of music theory should I start learning if I want to be a better songwriter on guitar? I taught myself to know some scales and all of songs, but I feel like yeah. So you got to learn harmony. So diatonic harmony is the first step. Secondary dominance is the second. Sub fives is the third. Modal interchange is the fourth, and then learn how to use diminished chords and symmetric scales, and that's pretty much it. And then learn how to modulate and do things like that. But learn how to be in a key. Um, what's up, Mark? Amazing response. Oh, thank you. Wes had a day job. Yeah, what was he doing? Um, See you Saturday. See you Saturday, Mark. What was Wes's day job? Wes Montgomery had a day job? I didn't know that. Is that true? He was a welder. Huh. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Oh, good for him. Yeah. Well, if Wes had a Patreon, trust me, that shit would blow up. Says he was a welder at a milk company? Stella. What can I tell you about Stella that you don't already know? he broke his thumb fixing a car? I dig super guitars. I dig them too. Did he break his thumb? Really? Is that true? I never heard any of this. Let's see. Wes Montgomery broken thumb. What's up with all these famous guitar players fucking up their hands? He did not break his thumb. Rather, used his thumb instead of a plectrum. No, that's AI claims that is not true. I did hear that he used his thumb to not wake up his kids because they lived in a small house and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call bullshit on the thumb story. Was one guitar book you recommend? I wouldn't recommend any of them. Alrighty, guys, I gotta go to sleep. See you later.